Welcome back to Holistic Homesteading with the Hurst. I'm Megan, and I want to give you a homestead tour today. So I've been putting this off because I keep saying I want to clean this part up, I want to clean that part up, but it just isn't happening. If I keep waiting, and the time will just never happen. So the good thing about this is giving you a homestead tour now versus like a year from now. Things will have changed dramatically because they've already changed in the past couple of months that we have really been working on it. I'm going to turn the camera around. Hopefully you guys can hear me well. My camera microphone is currently dead. The battery is dead and I have not bought new batteries. So anyway, so we're just using the regular camera microphone today. Alright, I'm going to turn this around and show you guys what we got going on here. Okay, so this is the front of our house. This is going to be a beautiful meadowy garden one day. For now, it's a bunch of lemon balm and weeds and a random corn stalk probably left there by a bird. Cool stuff. We just had our roof replaced and we have not gotten this tin. I'm not sure if we're going to get rid of it or if we're going to use it. I know some of it we're going to use. Some of it still needs to be put on the front of the house up here. But we're just kind of doing it as we can do it. So there's that. Over here is probably my favorite part of our homestead, and that is the creek. If you watch my Instagram stories or if you are I can't even say it. Or if you are on our Instagram followers, you'll see us playing in the creek, and this is where we like to play in the creek the most. There's my shadow. Hi. This is actually a ladder from our loft on the inside that we're taking down, and we've just used it to access the creek. Eventually, I want to get some really nice big stones to make steps to go down in there, because the creek does get pretty high when it rains. I mean, it gets probably like all the way up to the edge of this, and it's probably about 5-6 feet from the bottom to the top. So I love this natural body of water. It's a great place for the kids because it gets a little deep, but not super deep to where they can't touch. So it's nice. Before I started homesteading, I always kind of tried to be aware of getting my steps in for the day. I have no problem getting my steps in for the day now. Alright, let's flip this around. So over here is our garden, and I did just upload a full garden tour, but we are doing the back to Eden style garden. I need to weed like this section over here, and then this section right there did not get anything laid underneath it, so there's no weed barrier. So I'm gonna have to kind of start over on that one. But we've got some lovely tomato plants. There's my herb garden. It looks like it's about to fall over to redo that. We have fruit trees, some homemade raised beds that I just used with what we had. Now, I don't know if you guys are interested in this, but when you move on to a homestead, you start finding things, or even a new piece of land, you start finding things that have been here for years. So this is a huge walnut tree. It provides great shade in the evenings. Love it. And then we found this tree right here that has mulberries on it. If you've never tried a mulberry before, they're delicious. I'll show you guys. There they are. They're not quite ripe yet. Some of them are, and we've been picking those off, but they taste amazing if you've never tried them. So that was a pretty awesome find. And then over here next to the garden is our ducks and chicken coop area. I think it's called a chicken run. I'm not really sure because they are enclosed. The ducks stay in, the chickens always get out, but it's not really a big deal here. We are currently working on creating a nice little waterfall feature to keep this water moving because it gets dirty really quickly with ducks. So we got the tarp down and all of the rocks down, but we're not completely finished with it yet. I still have to get an aerator pump to get the water flowing. So hopefully I won't have to clean it out as often, but the ducks love that. So I'm actually going to be out here working today, working on making a better shade area here. And then we're going to make this a stationary coop. Take the wheels off of it since we are not going to be moving it around. We'll take the wheels and repurpose them for something else later. So just right behind the big chickens are our meat chickens. They're 2 or 3 weeks old now. I can't remember exactly, but they're getting big fairly quickly. And it looks like we're going to need to rotate them in the next few days because they're pretty much got this area down well. So I will probably rotate them over here in this area, just right next to it. They'll have that big dirt pile to scratch and look for worms because we got plenty of worms and bugs. This is from the pond. And then this tree will provide them shade so they can stay cool throughout the day. And just trying to think and plan ahead for that. So currently I'm not making any money off of our homestead. This is our very first year. I'm learning everything pretty much by just doing. So I don't really feel confident enough in my abilities just yet to sell any of our products. We don't have enough eggs. We get like 1 egg a day right now. All of our chickens and ducks are too young to be laying. And then this is our first round of meat chickens, so really there's nothing for me to be selling as far as animal products or foods. But one thing that I really want to work on is bringing in some extra income from our homestead. So this doesn't technically have anything to do with our animals, but eventually I would love for this to be an extra income for us and also a great way to meet some new people. So over here close to our barn is this tiny little green shed. The previous owners actually lived inside of it while they built our cabin, and it does not have plumbing, but it does have electricity hookup to it. So I would like to just pretty much just use the frame of it, make it a tiny home, and offer it as an Airbnb. So let's go inside it. Hopefully there's not any snakes over here. Mason, you go first. Okay. My dad mowed everywhere except right there. So should have worn my boots. So here's the side of it. It's got this vine growing up. It's not super like watertight or anything. I mean, it definitely needs some work, some maintenance, but I can see the vision. I can see it working, and it makes me really excited. I think that I'm going to call it the greenhouse, but I'm really scared to go traveling through this without any boots on. All right, we'll come back to this. All right, I got my boots ready to brave this forest or the jungle, and hopefully I don't run into a snake trying to show you guys. I would hate to do that. Go ahead, Mason. Climb through there. Ugh. All right, here's this building. So the ceilings are super low. We would have to raise them up, especially if we wanted guests that were at least 6 foot tall. Like my head is about, let's just show you. Okay, my head. There's my hand. So super low ceilings. We did find a snake skin in here one day, so yeah, I'm a little nervous. I have no idea what this stuff was. This place was trashed when we got it. There was so much junk in it, and we've cleaned most of it out. So yeah, and then, sorry guys. Okay. So then you can go up the steps here, and I'll just show you guys upstairs. So, once we get it kind of definitely cleaned up, restructured, and all that good stuff, then it will be available for rent. Ooh, that went really bright. It will be available for rent once we get it fixed up. Make sure that everything is nice and safe, and we will definitely mow, so you will not be walking in the weeds trying to get here. But yeah, I think it'll be a pretty cool project, and I love to design, so that'll be fun too. All right, here is our barn, and although I don't really use it for everything that you would typically use a barn for, like animals, right now, we have a lot of stuff in here in storage. So it's a pretty nice big barn. We have our truck that somebody gave us, this old beater, and I love it. But it stays in here. And just a lot of our fencing that was given to us, extra barn wood that we went and picked up that somebody was wanting to get rid of. So I just keep all of my stuff out here, and if you've watched any of our YouTube videos, a lot of times I end up out here just looking for odds and ends to put stuff together. So this is something that's really nice. Eventually I would like to make Brian, because he loves to work out here, so I'd like to make him like a nice concrete pad down there and give him all of his stuff that he wants to work out with. So if you're watching, babe, one day we will get that. So we live on 7 acres of land, and I've probably only explored about a fourth of it, maybe I would say it's more than that, maybe like a third of it, probably about 2 acres. So we have lots of woods, and we are gradually clearing that out. So back behind me is our cabin, and this used to be super thick with woods or trees, and we're just like gradually cutting them down, see, and clearing this out. Now we're not gonna make it like pasture, like with no trees. We're gonna do the silvopasture with some trees spaced far enough apart to where we can get grass to grow through it, and then eventually we'll be able to move our cows or sheep or whatever we end up getting on that eats grass onto that, and also provide them with cool shade from the trees. So I learned a lot from our friends at Forest Fed Farm. You guys can check out that video. I'll try to remember to put a link here. But we're also friends on Instagram, so you guys can check them out. So one thing I love about our land is foraging. And as you can see, we have blackberries here. Look, that one right there is ripe. The kids love to come over here and pick them. That was a good one too. Okay, so this area with this massive boulder sticking out of the ground, one, I would love to dig that up and move it, and eventually I want to make a swimming pond on our property. I think they're absolutely beautiful, and my kids love water, and I would love to get a little deeper than just the creek. But anyways, that back there is our well, and this has this huge cap over it. So eventually we're going to clear out a spot in here, get all this mowed down. We need a really nice mower, like a 0-turn fast mower, to get all of this or keep up with it once it's been bush hogged or whatever. But we want to put up a camper hookup up here. So if anybody wants to come visit and has their camper, they'll be able to do that. This is our driveway. It's super long and it continues to go up the hill. It's probably a 1/4 mile long from the road to our house. But this up here is also part of our property, and it really like caves in like that and then goes back up. So I think goats would be perfect for that. But man, guys, the fencing is expensive. So I don't know exactly when we will be getting any more animals, because that's the most expensive part. It's not the animals, it's the fencing and them in. But all of this is ours as well, and I've honestly not braved it out to there, but I'm pretty sure there's a family of deer that lives in there. I see them crossing our driveway early in the mornings a lot. I heard them this morning as I was traveling out to the car, walking out to the car, and you can just hear them rustling in there. And then a lot of times you'll see them out there in our field as well. So this is our driveway, continues to go down, and we just love it here. It's so secluded, it's so quiet, and even though everything's grown up right now, it's been really fun just letting things grow and seeing what's on our property. So this is the area that Brian typically chops our wood. He does it here just because the previous owner has a bunch of wood stacked up there and he's just splitting it. But I'm not sure if that will continue to be his place. We have a lot of wood stacked up next to the house that we are going to need to get split and ready to dry out for our winter. So we just kind of work on it a little bit at a time instead of waiting until like right before winter or in winter to start storing that up. So all right, so this is our little pathway that I take to get from our car to our cabin. And in the springtime, these things right here are called honesty flowers, and they have beautiful purple blooms on them. So let me know in the comment section below if you'd like for me to do a giveaway of just these seeds for your own homestead. I would love to do that and just give you guys a bunch of those, of like from my homestead to yours. That would be so cool. I'll put a picture of what they look like here. They're absolutely beautiful, and they just line this pathway. I mean, it's so peaceful. Hi, babies. You guys playing?
I already got this shirt on.
Yeah.
Look.
You disobeyed, didn't you?
Look, Mom.
You got a bunny?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I got a mini.
So the kids love to take their tricycles and just ride it all the way up to here and then right back down. They just love it. So same thing with this back side of the house. There's walking trails back in here that the previous owners have made. But I would love to clear out some more just to let a little bit more sunlight in here so that we could grow some grass and have some animals. There's a possibility that we might get some pigs, and I think this would be a great place for them to kind of root up stuff, stay shaded, and kind of find their way through here. I don't know if we have any walnuts out. Any walnut trees in through here? I don't see any, but they are great forage animals, and that's something that when I place them wherever they are, I would love for them to already have access to some type of food so that we don't have to feed them as much. So, and they're in kind of like their more natural environment. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this mini homestead tour. Like I said, we're just getting started, so there's a lot of projects that we have that we want to work on in the future. We have lots of projects going on here to get this place up and running, and then it takes a lot of money, unfortunately. So we're just taking it day by day and based on how I feel and the kids' involvement and things like that. So we do one little project a day. Get away, bug. And so, you know, it's growing and it's a steady pace, and I like that. When we first moved in, seemed like it was a rush to get everything ready before summer or spring, because we moved in at the end of January. So like getting the garden and we had chickens coming and all that stuff. So we had to rush with that. And then everything else just since we've got that done, we've been able to kind of slow down a little bit and just work on one project at a time. So that has been nice. But I hope you guys will follow along. Just watch this homestead grow. Watch as we do a makeover, and hopefully in a year from now, if you're still following, you'll get to see a huge transformation of what we get done. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave me a comment down below on how many acres do you live on your homestead. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.